So Light the Night is a celebration of different cultures. We have tents from several countries, and then they have inside the tent, and each country has a cultural presentation, the fashion, activities, and the most importantly, everybody's favorite, food.
Oh yes.
Is there. So it is like a showcase of different countries and cultures on our campus, and it changes the normal, usual look and feel of the campus, and then we'll bring it to the worldwide festival type of atmosphere. It's like a Epcot if
Yes,
you have
yes.
been there, but cheaper because all the foods are free
All
for
free, yes.
for the participants. During the pandemic, we cannot do this simply because this event draws hundreds and hundreds of people from not from just Arkansas Tech University, from the community as well. So as you know, and it's impossible when we have this COVID-19 going on. This is a second year in a row that we had to cancel Light the Night, but we know that this is such a special event for a lot of people, and we thought that this took this opportunity to talk about the memories of Light the Night so that all the participants can share their feelings and experience through the video. So you will enjoy watching this. So we'll hear a lot from the participants and students, or students used to be, about their memories, staff as well, in this series of videos. So I hope that you enjoy and you comment or interact through the social media so that we can have this Light the Night memory or Light the Night buzz going even though during this pandemic.
I remember the very first edition of Light the Night that we had at Tech. I remember it's just, before it even was an event, it was just an idea, and we met in Yasu's office on a Monday morning, just kind of trying to come up with the name, trying to come up with ideas and logistics, task assignments, and just really brainstorming what we needed to do. I know initially we wanted to literally light up the night sky, so we ordered a ton of biodegradable lanterns. We were sketching out where all of the attendees would stand so that we could safely release these lanterns into the sky. But the weather didn't cooperate, and we didn't end up doing that. So we just left a huge box of lanterns outside of Yasu's office, and we decided to just cram as many lights as we could into the bell tower and all of the canopies that we had around it, and tripped a fuse, ended up using a backup generator, but they were fun times. So we never in a million years imagined they would turn into this amazing event and be the event that it has come to be. So that's really thanks to generations of tech students, generations of international students, and most importantly, it's generations of student workers, GAs, and the amazing staff at IMSSO, because they are the real MVPs that make this event and other events possible.
2011 and 2012, those were the first years that we had Light the Night. I think how I came up with the idea was I watched Around the World in 80 Days, and I thought, you know what, this is so much fun. What if we could have one event where our students could experience every culture and country that we offered in one place, from tent to tent, and they could go to one tent and our students would be wearing their traditional outfits, they'd have food, they'd have all the different information that they could share about their culture, and I thought that would be such a fun experience. It would be almost like going around the world in one night, right? And so that's kind of how we came up with the idea for Light the Night. I have two funny stories about that I remember, good memories, but one of it was it was our first year, I believe, for the international office to actually participate in homecoming week for Tech. So I was really excited, and I felt it was a really big opportunity for us. So I was a little bit of a bridezilla about it, and I remember one of the things I was very particular about, for I don't know what reason was we had to have white tents. And we were looking at different options, and they said, why don't we get different tents from the different departments, we can put them up. And again, I was so stubborn. I was like, no, all the tents have to be white. I don't remember why it was so important to me, but it was. The second thing was, our students all went all out that year for our first one. But, as a graduate assistant, you're just kind of doing what you need to do and making sure that, everything's on point. And then suddenly I see our students from Saudi Arabia, they brought an entire horse, like they brought a whole Arabian horse on campus to their tent. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is allowed. And I started panicking. And that was a lot of fun. I think, we did so many events while I was a GA over there, and they were all fun. But Light the Night is definitely my most favorite event, and I'm so glad I got to be part of it my last year at Tech. So I hope you guys have fun.
My name is Brett Brennan. I serve as Dean of Student Engagement here at Arkansas Tech University. My absolute favorite part of Light the Night is the opportunity to see our domestic students, our international students, and our Russellville and River Valley communities come together and celebrate the exciting and the diverse and the global world in which we live. It's so exciting to see all of our community members and our students come together, learning, engaging in great food, asking great questions, and just celebrating how we are all part of this great world.
I used to be the assistant director for programming in the office, and my favorite Light the Night memories come from the behind the scenes. I was in charge of helping the students organize themselves and get set up and putting the event on. And so my favorite memories come from all the setup before the event actually took place. My favorite part was getting to dream big with my students and think about what their tent was going to look like and what kind of food and activities they were going to have. And then during the event, I have 3 little girls, and they always got to come and experience this event with me. So that is my favorite part of getting to be part of Light the Night.
Hello, international family and friends. My memories of Light the Night. Lots of memories of trash, mountains and mountains of trash. Hauling them in the back of a golf cart, carrying them, filling up all the dumpsters. Stringing lights, zip ties, fun times, but my best memories are the smiles, the laughter, seeing all of our friends and family there, the good food, wonderful memories.
This event is not just like we go and do something. There are a lot of efforts and plannings, discussions, even arguments, behind the scene. So every year we plan a lot of things, and when we execute the event, I feel like, oh, this was not how we planned, and it didn't go that way. But the good part is when I hear the comments, that's my good memories. Like every time at the end or during the event, like, oh my gosh, this is a good event. How organized it was. When I think about it in my head, like I know this is not how we decided, but people do see that it was organized so nicely, well planned, everything turned out. And even before the event, like for example, beginning of the year, I get a lot of people calling me, asking me like, hey, when is the Light the Night? And it doesn't have to be always tech, it's from the community, from high school or somewhere else, So it's really a good event. To me, it's just like people enjoying it, having fun and watching them from far, and that is my best memory. And also Light the Night is not just the name of the event, it does light the awareness of diversity. It increases our knowledge for various culture, and I have been working for these events for many years, yet every year I learn something new. So it's amazing. I just love Light the Night. It does come with a lot of stress, but still, it's one of my favorite events. Another good part I just don't want to miss is just like when we go do the reflection at the end of the event. We go through, okay, what went wrong and everything, even though with all this agreement and everything, but at the end we are really wonderful family that
Sure.
we talk about and
Yeah.
open communication and everything, so it turns out.
Let's see, 2018 was my 4th Light the Night, and I thought I'd seen just about everything and handled all kinds of weird problems and stuff for Light the Night. And the reason I remember this year so well is because in 2018 we were still letting them choose how many tents that they had. So they might have 2 tents, 3 tents, something like that. But India, and I'm going to call out India here. I love India. I love my Indian students, but I'm going to call you out on this. In 2018, India thought they'd get really creative with their tents. So they got 3 tents, and I'm going to show you right here. So they got 3 tents, and this was the configuration they chose. So you can see some of these others, like Kuwait and the ISO, they have just this long row of tents, right? But India thought, no. We're going to have 2 right here and 1 kind of in the back, and it's going to look really cool. And I'm going to give them this. It looked really awesome. It looked amazing. But what we didn't consider was what that might do to our power consumption and our electrical issues. So, but what everybody probably doesn't know, which is an insider tip here, there are 2 power sources, only 2 power sources. So if we're looking at this, okay, here's the library, and here's the Heinzman Bell Tower, and this is, you know, the circular area around it where all the tents are set up along the sidewalks. There are only 2 power sources. One is here, where I have a little X right here. These little dots here are the poles that we set up where we string the lights. So at this power pole here, and at it's a light pole, there's a little plug. An electrical box goes there, and that is where we can plug in all of our extension cords and power the rest of this area. So we can power all the tents, and we can power the lights that we string up. So there's only 2. There's this one right here, and then there's one way down here, okay? So you'll see India, boom, right over here. So this power plug powered this side and probably some of this area right here, which are tables. And this one powered this side. Well, I had run into our GA at the time. He's still our GA. You guys know him, Yoshi. And Yoshi had been running around in a panic, a little bit crazed, kind of like Yoshi is. And he had been struggling to get everything powered up, even like right up to 7 o'clock when we opened up for everybody and we're turning on all the lights. It was just getting dark, and he had been trying to get light to all the tents. So I'd been running into him. He'd been at the information booth. He'd been asking all the other student workers. It was very tense and heated. You know, where are the extension cords? I need more extension cords. And everybody's like, we bought more. They're here. The information booth is a rowdy place during like the night. And so he had been running around, and I know he'd been kind of jury rigging some of this. And it's funny because his job is actually to take photos, but you know, there he was, our electrician. And so he'd been running around jury rigging all this, and he'd kind of been complaining about India. And I'm like, well, you know, just do the best you can, work with it. If it doesn't work out in the end, then they tried something new and it didn't work, and oops. But he's like, no, I'm going to get power. I'm going to get power to all 3 of those tents in India. Okay, you do that, Yoshi. So, cut to some time later, the lights go out. No, not all the lights, half the lights. So the entire half from India, well, from Kuwait here, boom, to China, this entire half around the bell tower goes out. No power at all. Every single light goes out. And I thought, oh man, what's happened? So I run to the breaker, which is over by the one in front of the library. And sure enough, the breaker's been tripped, and you can tell because it has this little switch and it's turned red. So I'm flipping switches. I don't know how to work this thing. I'm flipping switches and hitting the reset buttons and all kinds of stuff. And yay, the power comes back on. Woo, all right. 10 minutes later, it goes off again. Oh no, here we go again. And so I make a beeline towards the electrical box. I meet Yoshi on the way. I meet Tushar on the way. You guys know Tushar is our GA, but at the time he was just volunteering with us. And it's tripped again. We're all three standing there looking at this box. I'm squatting down next to it going, what the heck? What's wrong with this thing? And I said some extremely impolite things to the box, which I will not repeat. And Yoshi better not tell any of you what I said, but I said some impolite things to the box. And so to a somewhat stunned and wide-eyed Yoshi and Tushar, who didn't know what to do either, you know, I was kind of looked at Tushar and I said, do you have any advice? Aren't you an engineer? And he goes, I'm a mechanical engineer, which made me laugh. And I thought, man, we need to hire an electrician for this because nobody here knows what we're doing. But I don't know, I might or might not have kicked the box or might, you know, have just bullied it into doing what I wanted. But the lights did come back on. And at that point, the three of us decided to try to reconfigure some of our extension cords and stuff and draw power away and kind of feed off of the others. And I don't think we had any other problems. But I like to refer to this incident as the rolling brownouts of Light the Night Village 2018.
I started working for ISSO back in summer of 2017. Fun fact, when I first started working there, I was a part of, technically, I am SSO, International Multicultural Student Services Office. And in the middle of the semester, we changed to International Student Services Office. And so I got to be a part of that fun transition. I would probably say that my favorite memory from Light the Night is when I got a moment to myself to sit down, take a break, and I watched everyone interact with one another and kind of engage with different people from different cultures and eat their food, and I watched everyone's face just light up with excitement, being able to try different things, learn about different things. And so it was really an honor for me to be able to be a part of that experience and help set up such a wonderful and probably one of the most popular events at Arkansas Tech. So I would have to say that was probably my most memorable moment, is just taking a step back and just seeing what we all worked so hard to create come to fruition.
I started back in fall 2014 with our International Student Services family. And back then I heard a lot about the event Light the Night and just couldn't wait to be a part of it. Often when people found out that I worked with an International Student Services office, they would ask me about Light the Night. I felt proud anytime I was asked about the event and was always happy to be associated with the International Office. In fact, what made this event stand out the most was how the work environment was. It showed in both our work and the vibe that was created around us at all times. Sabrina, Yasu, Sarah, Judy, many student workers and graduate assistants, as well as many volunteers, always made this event such a blast. From the planning, preparations to the execution, and even cleaning up was always so much fun. This event never felt like a job that needs to be done, but a party that I could not wait to take part in. It was a wonderful and joyful time. As the years went by, I had the opportunity and was entrusted with more duties, tasks where I was able to work personally with student organizations, staff, and student workers. This was a responsibility that I always craved for as I wanted to learn more about event managing. I loved the fact that I could coordinate with many students from various countries and build numerous social connections. I love diversity, and I am also a strong believer that diversity is necessary for anyone's life. With this ideology, Light the Night was the perfect event, along with several others, to plant my strong roots in. As a graduate assistant during that time, I was personally able to learn about various countries, their cultures, and I was also able to build stronger bonds with my teammates and other students across campus. I made many friends to whom I still stay in contact with. Many traveled away, many live nearby, where I get to socialize with them and still meet them on a regular basis. Thinking back about all what I learned and experienced before and during Light the Night was a blessing. I would forever remember the lifelong friends, networks, affirmations, and compliments that we all as an office would receive. That positive impact is something that still, till today, I feel to help me stay confident in what I do and how I build connections with those around me. I am grateful that I was able to be a part of this international office, which was not only my workplace but my little family in this foreign land.
Whenever I think of Light the Night as a student, I love it. It's awesome. It's the best event. Well, International Education Week is also another one. But when I'm talking about as a student employee, Light the Night is one of the most challenging one too. This is when I will see probably everybody's kind of on everybody's nerve. Yasu speaking trash, Judy's helping with trash too. That was my first memory of Light the Night when I came first. And then there's so many variables to go wrong, and usually things goes wrong. But then again, that is the fun of organizing it. We work with several student organizations, student group, and in between ourselves. You'll hear a lot of stories about Light the Night and how we lost our mind. And yeah, this is one of my favorite one among all of the events for spring semester. Sometimes, well, I wouldn't say sometimes, most of the times we're worried about the weather because it might rain during this time somehow. And then there's one year that we had to move it to Dock Ryan. And all those experiences very precious. We fight with each other, we get onto everybody's nerve, I said before, but I think that's the beauty of it. As a family, I'm really proud of this event that we organized to share our culture and food. I'm graduating this semester, and unfortunately for COVID, we didn't have Light the Night for past 2 years. Finger crossed, if I'm in Arkansas, I'll definitely come back for Light the Night next year in 2022. Thank you.
So of my 9 years here at Arkansas Tech University, I have been to 5 Light the Nights. 3 of them, two of them I just went and had fun. One of them I participated because we had a Southeast Asian booth, and then 2 of them I worked as a GA. So my favorite memory will probably be my first Light the Night that I worked as a GA for. The reason I think this is such a good memory for me was because I actually got to experience the behind the scenes. And not only is it good for me, but it was also good for the staff members, because this event is our biggest event of the year. And also this event really helps our communication skills. So we're always constantly talking. We are there from 8 a.m. and we probably don't leave until 12 a.m. and some of us don't even get home until 1 a.m. because we still got to store some stuff and everything. And we also work closely with students, so it give us that connection of how hard working with students, and give us how students work and everything. I'm always the photographer for these events, so I really love taking pictures of this event because it's the lights, there's people. As much as I love taking pictures for this event, it is really difficult taking pictures for this event because there's minimum light exposure. If you're a photographer, you know what that means. I hope we have Light the Night again in 2022. Yeah, 2022. And so hopefully I get to do one more Light the Night before I graduate. And I promise you, I will try my best to make it the best Light the Night you would have here at Arkansas Tech.
I personally made a lot of memories, both as a student worker, preparing for the event with my colleagues and the other volunteers, because it does require a lot of work from the international office. Weeks and weeks ahead of preparation and design and all that, but it's worth it. And also memories as a participant. When I was a student at Arkansas Tech, we were many students from Africa, but we had only few from each country. So I was the only one from Morocco. We had a couple from Egypt. We had one guy from Cote d'Ivoire. We had a couple people from West Africa, some from East Africa. So one year, instead of representing a specific country, we decided to just get together and do an African exhibition. So that was really fun. We made an African tent, and as you probably know, Africa is a very diverse continent. So we ended up with a very, very diverse tent with all kinds of food, people speaking all kinds of languages, and it was very fun, and I'm very thankful for the memories that I got from that year, and people loved it. So as I said, Light the Night is one of those events that you want to experience at least once in your student life, because I know if you go once, you're probably going to go back the year after and the year after. So I hope this year Light the Night is going to be good, and I hope next year we'll be back to normal and it's going to be even bigger. And to my IMSSO family, I miss you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
So my favorite memory from Light the Night was from 2019, which was the last time we celebrated it. And I remember rain being in the forecast for the day of the event. So us at International Student Services had to change our plans accordingly. So we had to change the venue from Hinsman Tower to Doc Bryan so that we could protect ourselves from the rain and stuff. And I remember me working on our tent and everyone else doing the same. And so when the tents were done being set up, I remember looking at all the other tents and just thinking to myself that there was no way that Bangladesh or my tent could win this competition. But I still tried my best, and I remember all the other Bangladeshis doing their best to represent our country, and so we were having fun with it, and we were trying to entertain everyone. And at the end, when the winners were being announced, I remember being so overwhelmed and surprised when Bangladesh was announced to be the winner of that competition. So I felt like that was a lesson. We often I felt I was looking at all the other cultures and thinking that they were so colorful and vibrant, but I kind of forgot that my culture was so vibrant as well. And it was a great lesson, I think, because we should all also appreciate our own culture and revel in our own culture. So yeah, that was a great memory. So thank you.
So for CS8, before a couple weeks before the event started, we will start preparing for food. We will start contacting the restaurant for ordering food, and also we will prepare for some Chinese products like clothing. We will wear our traditional clothes in that day, and we'll prepare some decorations and some small gifts that I can give it out to the students. On the events day, we will go to the tents. We will go there 3 hours or 4 hours before the event started. We will start decorating the tents, and then we'll put our flags up. We will put all the decorations. So after we decorating all the tents, I will start contacting the restaurant and see did they prepare for the food. And before, like 10 minutes before the event started, I mean actually 20 minutes before the event started, I will go to the restaurant and pick up the food. I wanted to keep the food warm and tasty. That's why it's kind of like I have to be rushed on picking up the food and stuff. So when the event started, we will have CSA members wearing our traditional Chinese clothes, and also we will have some Chinese clothes on the table to let people try it out. And we'll be sharing our food such as sesame chicken, dumplings, fried rice, this kind of stuff. And sometimes we will have some seasonal dessert and some tasty food and snacks. So that's how CSA prepare for Light the Night.
And also sometimes I will carry my cameras around and also helping the people. I most time doing is like run into each tent to help those students. It's kind of busy, but I'm enjoying that. If any students, you guys want to help us as volunteers, maybe next semester or next year we will have this event back on. So that will be really good. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I believe the first Light the Night event I had attended was in the spring of 2017, which was also the semester I had joined ATU, so I remember being extremely excited about it because that was the first international event of that large scale where so many different countries were participating alongside each other, and yeah, I was excited about that, and also excited because that was the first international event where I, as an Indian, would have the opportunity to showcase my culture to different people. But because of how many people had come into our tent and because of how much I had to interact with all of them, I was so busy that I didn't really get a chance to go around and explore the tents that were set up by other countries. So I was kind of disappointed at the end of it because even though I enjoyed interacting with people and sharing my culture with different people, I was also expecting to go around and have that interaction and learn about other people's culture. But since I was not able to do that year, I had made sure to make it my priority in the next year to go around and explore, no matter how busy the tent gets. And so we had made sure that we divided up our time so that everyone got a chance to go around and explore different tents and actually be a part of Light the Night, not just be involved in our tent. And I think that was a successful idea that year, 2018. We did a great job setting up our tents. We had multiple activities, one of which was where we dressed up people in our traditional clothing, sari and sherwani. It was so beautiful to see how people embraced our cultural traditional wear and how beautiful they looked in it. And I think that's the whole idea behind Light the Night, where different people from different backgrounds come together, they share their culture and embrace other people's culture, respect it. And yeah, I think that year I truly got to experience the whole idea behind Light the Night. And yeah, that was one of the best events and one of the most memorable days of my time during the college life.
Light the Night has always been one of my favorite events of IMSSO. We get to experience lots of cultural and traditional costumes, varieties of food, which is always having like exciting every time. I remember we had Light the Night in front of the library. I think we have a bunch of tents set up for different countries. I think we had Japan, China, India, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, and then we had ISO, which included countries like Egypt, Nigeria, and some other countries. And then I remember we had like a little competition going on there, and then we had judges coming around, testing the food, asking us about the cultures, and I thought that was really fun activities. Yeah, and then on the third semester we had like the night all together, and me and my friend, we had cultural dance show. I remember I was so nervous, but yeah, those were really fun time.
I hope that the people who join this event or who come to, the venue and be part of Light the Night feel that oneness and the familyness. Not just staff in this office, but because we have to rely on the students, and that is why every year is so different. Because it's a contest between the countries, so that they are. Their first priority is to let the participants and the guests to have a great time, but at the same time it's a competition between the tents, and then they want to put like the best of all, and then it's always at the end. Actually, after the guests are all gone, but we announce the winner of that. That calculation, the tally is always a challenge as well. It's another behind the scene that we have to do, but the excitement of the students who participated, compete in there was just amazing to see. It's a lot of work for us, a lot of work for the students who put all the tents and cultural presentation together. But after all those events, then everybody is happy that they participated. So that is a great thing. But now that I am happy, now that we missed two years in a row, then we are missing something really big. So I can't wait that we get together and do it. If you ask us during the Light the Night preparation, then we may say something different, because it's a lot of stress. And that's the time that I watch weather forecast and check the weather every 15 minutes, because it's a big decision whether to go outdoor or not.
And somehow during the Light the Night, it'll be rainy most of the year, very cold. Yes. Yeah. So it's time of the year.
It's April.
But, yes.
So a lot of again behind the scene efforts, but because of that, the event is so successful and people enjoy.
Yes. But it's nice to walk down the memory lane.
Yes.
What we have done.
Right.
And I look forward to next year, hopefully.
Sure.
We'll get to do it.
Yep.